A woman was swindled out of $390,000 in a crypto scam by a man she met on the dating app Hinge, spelled Hinge for those that are listening. So a woman said she lost $390,000 after falling for an online crypto dating scam and wants to warn others. And basically, we're going to get into this story, but for anyone that's listening to this or stumbles upon this, be careful with whoever it is that you are messaging on, on these dating sites or whatever, or even like messaging in whatever messaging app, because you don't know who's on the other end, right? So just be careful with that. So Nicole Hutchinson of Tennessee told CBS News not only did she lose her own money, but her father's too. Oh my god. Attempting to make friends before moving to California. Well, I mean, that's an issue right there. Moving to California, higher tax state, blah, 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 kind of stuff. So that's already an issue right there. But yeah, so Hutchinson inherited her late mother's house and decided to sell the property. She split the profit with her father and inherited $280,000 that was supposed to be used to help her family build a life in California. The 24-year-old decided to try the online dating site Hinge and matched with a man named Hao, 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 while visiting a friend in the state, the New York Times reported. He told her he came from the same town in China where she was adopted, and they continued texting after she returned home. He suggested she try investing into cryptocurrency, an area he told her he knew well. Well, here's the thing. This is the thing, right? Anyone who suggests you on a dating site for you to go invest in something like cryptocurrency, maybe you should be already kind of like, wait a minute, what's going on here, right? But here's the thing. I think I could probably understand someone who maybe is feeling lonely, ends up talking to someone, and maybe is feeling something at that moment in time where they are probably a little bit more vulnerable to this person. I completely understand that. It's just, it's sad, right? Because, you don't want to see someone lose their money. Like, you don't want to see someone get scammed, right? It's just really sad to see. So I want to teach you to invest in cryptocurrency when you are free, bring some changes to your life, and bring an extra income to your life, he texted her, according to a screenshot of the exchange reported by the New York Times. Now, here's the thing, right? This kind of basically already sounds like a sales pitch, right? So let me just put it like a little bit more convincingly. I want to teach you to invest in cryptocurrency when you are free, bring some changes to your life, bring an extra income to your life. That is literally like a sales pitch, right? That is a sales pitch, which is crazy. Now, he texted this to her, but still, if someone is vulnerable enough at the right time, this little statement, if they've built up some sort of rapport with one another, dude or lady who might be listening to this, or some random person in Russia for some reason, this is like a word for word sales pitch that could convince someone if they are vulnerable to the individual that is saying this sales pitch. So she began small, then gradually invested large amounts of money at the link House Center, and soon she started to see profits. Hutchinson told her father he should invest, and he did. When they had a combined balance of $1.2 million by December, it was time to withdraw. Hutchinson told CBS News, but there was a catch. She would have to pay a $380,000 tax bill and learned soon after that none of her investments was real. I messed up my life. I messed up my dad's life, Hutchison said. So, online dating scams are on the rise. The FBI issued an alert this month about victims losing $1 billion in 2021. So, the bottom line is most consumers are not reporting fraud when it happens, and romance scams may be particularly unlikely to be reported because there can be a lot of embarrassment around it, Emma Fletcher, a Federal Trade Commission analyst, told USA Today. The FTC said scammers usually ask for gift cards, but the largest losses came from payments made in cryptocurrencies. $139 million in 2021. I think he really played off that I was naive and not knowing anything about crypto and taking that and running with it, Hutchinson told CBS News. I just hope others don't have to fall for it. So, yeah, this was like a really depressing story, right? Because, like, the main thing to really understand is that the reason why people get scammed like this is like two reasons, okay? Number one, they are vulnerable, right? They are vulnerable for some reason. It could be their age, it could basically be them just feeling super lonely and they want someone, like they want to date someone, they want to sleep with someone, all that kind of stuff, right? Maybe they just got dumped, maybe they just got cheated on, and they're basically right there vulnerable to pretty much anyone, right? So the other option is also that they are a little bit greedy. Now, that is not to necessarily insult her, but when you start seeing profits like crazy, or like when you think like, oh, if I go do this thing, I'll go make some money, some quick money because this person told me, that's kind of like having that lottery complex, right? Like, oh, I'll play the lottery because I could win millions of dollars when we all know 99.999999999 to the infinity percentage, right? Is that you are going to lose your money when you play the lottery, right? And yet, people still do it. Why? Because they're just hoping that, you know what, maybe this will actually turn out into something that will make me millions of dollars by just buying a $10 scratch off ticket, right? And look, technically speaking, we even suggest, like, hey, after you get out of debt, after you start putting money towards investments, if you have like cash just like burning in your pocket that you are perfectly okay with like losing, go ahead and spend that money on lottery tickets if you want to for fun, right? Because it is like a perceived loss. Like you don't need that money, so you can literally burn that money in your driveway and still be okay, right? But every time there's this sort of scam, like a dating scam, crypto scam, that sort of thing, specifically crypto, there's always a side to it that you do gotta lay blame on the person that did get scammed because they got scammed for them wanting to make a crazy amount of money pretty quickly, right? So it's just something to really think about. The crypto scammer, obviously a horrible person, but also the person that got scammed was getting a bit too greedy and decided to go and do it to try to make some quick, easy money, which, by the way, is not necessarily quick or easy to make money, right? We all know that. It takes time, or it takes some skill, or it takes you basically paying someone to go do something to make you more money, more than what you pay the person to go do it. So, something to really think about. If you want to learn how to get out of debt, go to 40inbox.com. But if you want to get cryptocurrency, you could join Coinbase by going to, I believe, 40inbox.com, click the Coinbase thing, and if you were to deposit, I believe $100 into a Coinbase account, they will give you $10 of free Bitcoin. That being said, cryptocurrency is not for everyone. You really should try to understand these things before you get into it. Pretty much the only thing you don't necessarily need crazy amount of understanding is something like investing into the S&P 500, right? Because that is basically like you invest it for the long term, basically never look at it, and over time is basically going to do pretty well. Pretty much it's going to beat the majority of all hedge funds.